Hey, this is Brian Jones from Valhalla Academy in Frankfort, Kentucky, and this is Rants and Ravings, where I talk about something that really gets under my skin about the grappling community. Today's topic is the ban on leg locks. Okay, the IBJJF doesn't allow a lot of different leg locks. Some grappling tournaments don't allow them at all. No twisting leg locks, no heel hooks, no toe holds, anything like that. Okay, I think this is bullshit. Number one, it's a legitimate technique, and the typical reason that it's given for taking them out is that they're too dangerous. Okay, if you apply this lock, too dangerous. You know, the guy is not going to feel, if he feels pain, it's too late and all this stuff. I agree with that, but I also agree that if you wait till an armbar is hurting you, you're already hurt too. So there's no logic in allowing a joint lock on one arm and not allowing it on the other legs. Okay, so there's no logic in doing arm bars if you're not going to do knee bars. There's no logic in doing shoulder locks if you're not going to do twisting leg locks. There's just no logic behind that. What is necessary is that you train it safely. You give your opponent time to tap out. The reason I think a lot of people ban them is because they're not good at them. They don't know the defenses, and you've got a lot of BJJ black belts out there that are scared shitless that they're going to get tapped out by an underranking belt or somebody that doesn't have any rank and they're in a no-gi, and they come in and they're going to get smoked from a leg lock, and they just have so much ego that they just ban them under the premise that they're keeping people safe. And, you know, that's pretty easy to see, okay? So leg locks should be taught. The second point I want to make is that leg locks are not for beginners, okay? I don't teach leg locks to white belts. You can't do any leg locks in most tournaments if you're a white belt. Because, and this is my reasoning behind it, theirs is probably a safety issue. My reasoning behind it is that it teaches poor positional skill. What happens is people get reliant on leg locks, they don't learn how to pass the guard. They'll flop back into a leg lock and end up giving up position, and then suddenly they're on the bottom when they were on the top before. I believe in having a good top game and staying on top, and I think that's a more valuable skill than flopping to your back and going for a leg lock that may or may not work. A lot of these leg locks are low percentage anyway. Okay, I know there's some people that are really good with them, but if you miss the leg lock, you're in a really, really bad position. And it's much, much easier to scramble out of a failed armbar attempt or a failed choke attempt than it is to scramble out of a failed leg lock attempt. Now, I'm going to admit I'm not a leg lock guy. And the reason is I like to fight from the top. Most leg lock guys are bottom game fighters. They're going to be fighting from the guard, half guard, X guard, even butterfly guard. So they're going to be fighting from the bottom. And I don't think that's a sound strategy across all contexts. I try to emphasize, even with the smaller guys, is to get on top and maneuver around. Obviously, you want to be able to fight from your back, but going for leg locks straight out of the gate is going to put you on your back in an inferior position most of the time. And I don't personally like them. Do I think we should ban them? Hell no. You should train with everything in your arsenal. If you have somebody who's applying a submission lock too fast for somebody to tap out, you need to address that as a coach. That's not the fault of the lock. That's the fault of the player who's applying it, and more specifically of the coach. That's like blaming guns for gun violence. It's bullshit. I'm leaving the comments box open. You're free to agree with me, disagree with me, call me whatever you want. This is Brian Jones, Valhalla Academy in Frankfort, Kentucky, and I'll see you next time.